Welcome to the MSJC Internet Authoring Videocast.
To create an HTML document from scratch, it's really quite easy. We can just right-click on our desktop, choose the New option, and then from here choose Text Document. The reason we're choosing Text Document is because this will create a document that we will then open up in the Notepad program, which is an ASCII text editor. And an ASCII text editor is one that does save all of the characters that we type into the document, but nothing else. It doesn't add any additional formatting, like a word processor does. So Microsoft Word, WordPerfect, things of that nature always want to add all of their formatting codes, and those are all hidden within the document. And so they don't make very good HTML editors. And yes, I'm aware of the fact that we can create documents in word processors and then choose to save them as HTML. But I encourage you to view the source code on those sometimes. There's a lot of additional coding that they add in there as well. So the simplest thing is to choose the text document. And we'll go ahead and call this first page .htm. So notice I'm also changing the extension here. In fact, let me press escape so we can go back to the original file name. The original file had a .txt extension on it, and so I'm actually going to be changing that when I rename it. When I do try to rename it and add or change the file extension, it does come up and say, or ask me if I'm sure I want to change it, and we'll go ahead and say yes. Notice that the Internet Explorer icon now displays for our document. That shows that the operating system recognizes this now as being a file that it will open and display in Internet Explorer. If you're using another browser on your computer, then that icon should be displaying there as well. Now, one other thing that you might need to be aware of here is that you on your computer may not see your extensions. The Microsoft operating system, Windows XP, and others don't display the extensions of your files by default. So to change that, we can go to the Start menu. We can open up My Computer, and this opens up what is known as Windows Explorer, not to be confused with our browser, which is Internet Explorer. I can come up here in Windows Explorer and go to the Tools menu, click on Tools, and then choose the bottom option here, the one that says Folder Options. Once I have the Folder Options dialog box open, I can now click on the View tab, and on the View tab, we scroll down a little bit, we'll see there's a choice here of hiding extensions for known file types. On your computer, if you're not seeing extensions, that check is probably in the check box. In other words, this feature is active on your system. But by simply removing the check from that box and then clicking OK, you should be now able to view your file extensions like I am here in this demonstration. Okay, now it's time to edit our document. Let's go ahead and right-click, and we're going to choose Open With, and then from the list of choices that we get, we'll choose Notepad. To begin an HTML document, we'll start with an HTML tag. That indicates to our browser that it should interpret our document using its HTML interpreter. I find that it's a good practice that anytime I create an opening tag, I should immediately also create the closing tag. That way I don't forget at a later date. Especially in the newer specifications for HTML called XHTML, it's very important that we have always both the opening and the closing tags for each of the elements that we're using. So now that we've identified this as an HTML document, we'll go ahead and add the head section to our document. And again, I'll go ahead and add the closing head tag here. Make sure we don't forget it. Inside of the head section, one of the many elements that we can add here would be a title tag. And any of the text that you display within the title tag will actually show up on the title bar of your web browser when the document is displayed in the web browser. So we have our head section with the title element incorporated inside of it. Now we'll come down and go just below the closing head tag, and we'll begin the body section. Any text or images that I place within the body section will be what actually display then within the main window of our browser. And I'm going to start by adding a picture into the body section, and you can see that I've already created a picture here, copied it from another location onto my desktop. And what I'm going to do is just click into the title there so that I can easily copy it without having to retype it. So when I come back now to my document and click an insertion point between my two body tags, we'll start with an image tag to indicate that I want to place an image at this position in the document. And then we have to use for the image tag what is known as the source attribute. The source attribute is how we identify the file that we want to be displayed. And so I'll go ahead and do a Control V here. I could also go to the Edit menu and choose Paste and get the same results. So all I've done is, for this source attribute, followed it with an equal sign, and then an open quote, put in the name of the file that I want displayed, and then a close quote. Another attribute that we can add within the image tag is the Alt attribute. This is used for disabled folks who are using page readers, and other folks who are not displaying images on their screen. They will see the text instead. And again, notice that the attribute, the Alt attribute, is followed by the equal sign. And after the equal sign, what we're typing in is known as the value. And so our values are always incorporated inside of quotes. Also, one other attribute I'm going to place in here is the Align attribute. This allows me to then flow text around the image. And so if I choose Align and put in the value of left, then that will push the picture over to the left of my web page and then allow for text to flow around it to the right. Now the image tag does not have a matching closing tag, but we still need to close the image tag, and so we do that with a / and then a closed angle bracket. Now I'm going to go ahead and press the Enter key on my keyboard to generate a line feed. It's important to know that HTML browsers do not use the Enter key. They do not recognize that you have typed the Enter key in your HTML document. In order to get a line feed within an HTML document,
if you like this video, please click the like button and leave us a comment down below. I also would appreciate it if you would subscribe to our YouTube channel. Also, click the notification bell so that you'll be notified when new videos are posted.